Creating an MLB team tier list based off of how much I like your team. I was thinking about doing this for the NFL, but then I realized, you know what, you probably know a lot of my opinions already. I still might do that eventually soon enough. NBA as well, but I think MLB I have some strong opinions for teams I like, teams I don't like. So yeah, this could be interesting. And as you can see, we get it started off with a bang. The Chicago Cubs. Safe to say that's one of the teams, probably only of two, that I hate. Yeah, they're our arch rival at this point. Obviously, they're not quite as annoying now as, say, a few years ago, or certainly when they won the World Series, but still the Wrigley North crap and whatever um, is quite annoying. So, yeah. Angels, I would say I like the Angels. They're one of those teams. I'm sure you guys can comment in the comment section below if you have teams like this where you just look at them initially. For me, it was 2015, and I'm just automatically, for whatever reason, I don't even know why, but I just like the Angels. So I think they're probably also my second favorite team. There are other teams and teams I like, but and then I obviously with Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, they're an interesting team now. They're never really that great of a team, at least since I've been watching. But I would say I like them. Diamondbacks, I also like. This one is more about the logo. Also, I don't know if I don't feel like I liked them quite as much in 2015, um, but yeah, the Diamondbacks logo and hat and all that stuff. I don't know, just is interesting looking to me. Braves, formerly the Milwaukee Braves, so that gives them some bonus points, but they did also beat us in the NLDS 2021. So overall, I think they're neutral. I certainly, I mean, that was quite irritating that they beat us in 2021, but there certainly are more frustrating series that we've lost. So yeah. Orioles are another team that I definitely like, and I'm really happy that they're having quite a bit of success. Because obviously they had a bunch of bad years, really bad years. But last year they improved. This year they're doing great. They could even contend with the Rays for the East. And yeah, I'll be rooting for them come playoff time for sure. They're definitely a team that I like. So this next one is controversial. The Red Sox, I could certainly understand if you find them annoying. But I've always, well, maybe not always, but I've kind of had a soft spot for the Red Sox. Obviously they've beaten the Cardinals in a couple World Series, so that's nice recently. But I think the big thing is for whatever reason, I didn't process the fact how much they hate the Yankees, and I probably don't hate the Yankees as much as Red Sox fans typically do. But yeah, just learning that fact around 2017 or so, yeah, I got to join the Red Sox bandwagon for that reason. So yeah, certainly I could see if you don't like them that much, but I don't have a huge problem with them certainly. Reds, we'll say strongly dislike. I would say they are definitely. I'd say the Pirates are definitely my second favorite team in our division. So we'll see where that lands in. The Reds, I just have always find a little more annoying. I don't know exactly why. Um, I mean, I guess they were really. One thing that I noticed for 2015, a lot of the teams that were super bad, I don't know, I just didn't like right away. Um, yeah, the Reds. I mean, they're in our division as well, so I'd say strongly dislike is fair. Guardians neutral. Pretty much a lot of the AL Central is neutral, as you can see. That's one of the more boring divisions in the league, in my opinion. So yeah, Rockies. They could be higher, but for me, I never really was huge with the Rockies. But obviously, I was happy that when we beat them in the 2018 NLDS, we swept them, and they've compared to other National League teams, certainly I'm fine with them. Okay, White Sox, they've probably had biggest change up, the biggest change up. I'm almost close to putting them in teams I like, um, because, well, back in the day in like 2015, I just saw they were from Chicago, and I was like, "Nah, I can't like Chicago teams." But then, I started to realize, hey, they have a huge rivalry with the Cubs, and they share the hate with the Cubs like we do. So for that reason, they're still neutral. But yeah, the White Sox, I don't know if they were strongly disliked, but they were definitely an annoying for a while. Now they're for sure in high neutral. We'll maybe rank it in the tiers at the end, as we did for the other video. Tigers are also neutral. Again, AL Central, not much to talk about for that. So yeah. Astros, I don't know. I'd say strongly dislike. I mean, I think a lot of other teams probably were cheating, but maybe not as obvious as the Astros, or maybe not quite as often as the Astros. I still find them quite annoying. I was rooting for the Dodgers in 2017. I wouldn't since then, even with the cheating, and all things considered. But I would still say I strongly dislike the Astros, but not quite hate. So Royals, they're the one team in the AL Central. I still forget them, but I would say I like them as a whole. They're also one of the few teams that I've actually seen the stadium for in the MLB. I hope to see certainly a few more. Um, but yeah, they got an interesting field. I think they won the World Series in 2015. I actually think I wasn't really rooting for them, but for some reason they've moved up. Well, they did have Lorenzo Cain, Mike Moustakas, so some former Brewers players that had success with Milwaukee. So yeah, I'd say I like the Royals. Dodgers, certainly I don't like them. I'd say I'd say strongly dislike. They're probably at the bottom of that tier. A lot because of 2018, just how close we were. All of our wins were, not all that dramatic. They had two that came right down to the wire that we could have easily won in game two and in game four. So that was obviously very frustrating. Um, yeah, I would say that's a tougher. Well, the one thing is we, did not have much of a chance to beat the Red Sox in the World Series, all things considered, as opposed to 2011, where with the Cardinals, we'll get to that, where if we would have won that series, we certainly would have had a great chance to beat the Rangers, I'd say, in the World Series. So, that's what I'd say about that, but it's still very frustrating. And yeah, I'm not going to forgive the Dodgers for that. Marlins are neutral. The NL East is like another one of those divisions. Now that one I remember the teams more often, but still a lot of neutral teams, I'd say, in the NL East. Brewers, shocker, they're my favorite team. Couldn't tell that from the channel, yeah. Um, but yeah, just hopefully this year they finally, well, obviously make the playoffs and then maybe even win a playoff series, and just hopefully soon enough we can bring a World Series to Milwaukee. So, but yeah, they're obviously my favorite team. Big surprise. All right, the Twins, I'd say annoying. I think Brewers fans that were born in like 80s and 90s um, would say strongly dislike or even hate, because I think that they were like our biggest rival back then, and they still are a pretty big rival in the you know AL NL games, but I don't really have any reason to truly hate them, but they are annoying because they're from Minnesota. Yeah. Mets, I'd say neutral. Again, NL East. Now they're probably high in neutral. I certainly, but they're not having much. They're a little bit of a disappointment this year. They certainly were in June. Maybe they're figuring it out a little bit more since, but they've never been a true contender since really 2015 when they made the World Series. So I've just always thought of them as the lesser New York team. But the greater New York team, I certainly have low. In fact, I'd say actually they might be the lowest in strongly disliked. That will be a tough tier to rank, not gonna lie. But yeah, Yankees. I don't hate them for the 27 World Series. It's just like they haven't won one since 2009, and all their fans try to act so great about their team, and I get it as a Packers fan. With 13 championships, although we of course won more recently even than the Yankees. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, I've always found the Yankees annoying from the start. And also, I think they beat us in a playoff series a while back, so that's another thing to consider. A's, I'd say they might be the last team that I'd say I like. Yeah, I don't really see too many others that could go in teams I like. I think maybe a little lesser of an extent than some of those other teams. Actually, I don't know if I really have much of a reason. I've just always kind of liked the A's, at least a decent amount. So yeah, that's what I'd say about that. Phillies are definitely annoying. They beat us in 2008. Philadelphia fans as a whole are annoying. For some reason, it bothers me more with the Phillies and the 76ers than the Eagles. I don't know exactly why. Um, but yeah, the Phillies, I mean, yeah, beat us in 08. Might have already said that. Uh, their fan base is annoying. So yeah, I'd say definitely annoying. Pirates, we'll say, yeah, annoying for the Pirates. As I said, they're by far, I'd say, my second favorite team in our division. Reds are third. Um, you know, I think we've actually had a higher win percentage against them all time. So yay, surprise! But but yeah, I mean, the Reds, they've both been like right at the bottom almost every year that I've watched. So, but for some reason, I've just always liked the Pirates a little bit more. So, yeah. Padres are annoying, I'd say. I don't know. They're another one of those teams where just kind of from the start, I thought they were annoying. I didn't have a true reason for. Although now, of course, they have Manny Machado, who, while obviously we're well past the incidents in the 2018 NLCS, it still bothers me. So yeah, they're definitely annoying to me as well. Mariners are neutral. I don't really care that much about the Mariners. Never really have. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's see, just six teams left. The Giants, they're pretty close to, I'd say, a team I like, but they're pretty close with the Mets, I'd say. But they're a neutral. I mean, haven't really done anything too bad to the Brewers all time, but yeah, and I've found the Giants to be an entertaining club, especially when they won even though I didn't watch it too much, they won the 3 out of 5 World Series, and even the even the following years they had interesting teams. But yeah, I've never really I've never really had them in teams I like, but they certainly are decent. St. Louis Cardinals, the other team, obviously, that I hate. And yeah, I really wouldn't care quite as much, for them being our division rival, but obviously 1982 stings. One year we actually made the World Series. And then 2011, when we had a great year, and as I said, we could have definitely won the World Series against Texas that year. So um, that's a frustrating one. And obviously, they are a division rival and have beaten us in a lot of big games. So yeah, I can't say at all that I would put them any higher. It'll be interesting which team I have lower between the Cubs and Cardinals. We'll get to that soon. Rays, I'd say, are neutral. They are doing well, so good for them. But you know, I don't know. I've never really cared that much about the Rays, except I was rooting for them to beat the Dodgers, of course, and they didn't do that in the World Series in the COVID year. So yeah, Rangers, they're another one of those teams where I just found them annoying. Again, I don't have a real reason for that. I mean, they are from Dallas, uh, Texas, so like the Cowboys, so that's maybe a little bit of part of it, but I've just always found them a little annoying. Not strongly dislike for sure, but yeah. Blue Jays, I'd say neutral. I mean, Canada, the fact that they're from Canada probably loses a couple points, but other than that, I think I like Blue Jays, the bird, so that helps. They're definitely neutral, though. I'd say probably high neutral. We'll see. And then Nationals, this one's tough because they beat us in the 2019 wild card in dramatic fashion. But I think I'm past that. Good for them. They beat the Astros in the World Series. They're probably a low neutral team for me as far as how much I like them. So, yeah. All right, let's just, as we did in the last video, rank in the tiers real quick. Obviously, there's only one favorite, the Brewers. Teams I like, we'll say Angels, Orioles, Royals, Red Sox come in fifth place, and then Diamondbacks, Athletics, sure. Neutral teams, oh boy, we'll say Giants are my favorite of the pack, at least initially. Then we'll say Mets. Then we'll say White Sox. Obviously, the biggest jump of all of these teams from 2015 to now. Then Braves and Guardians, not Indians. Who's next? Maybe Blue Jays. And we'll say Tigers, Rockies, Marlins, Mariners, Rays, Nationals. Yeah, I could see that. For the neutral tier, that's pretty much it. I'm just doing this quickly. Annoying teams. I'd say my favorite of these actually is the Pirates, followed by the splitting hairs. I'd say the Twins, and then the Phillies, and then the Padres. Well, no, Rangers are ahead of the Padres, but I would not say I like them more than the Phillies. So yeah, I'd say that. Um, of the four teams I strongly dislike, I guess I'll move the Astros up. I mean, probably, at the end of 2021, I probably had them like two spots lower. So, yeah, not a huge difference, but they are a little up, I guess. Then Reds, again, splitting hairs. I guess we'll put Yankees over Dodgers, although I really don't like either team at all. And then of these two, I suppose I like the Cardinals a little more. So yeah, that'll be it. Hopefully you will enjoy this video, and continue to like and subscribe for more videos.